In terms of the central headline, the Democrats are asserting that Trump's role in inciting the riot was, quote, unmistakable. Alex, in terms of other details, the Democrats are arguing that the former president can be impeached, as they're saying in a trial memo that Trump will be, they're seeking to see if Trump can be disqualified from office. But the central headline, Trump's role in inciting the riot, quote, unmistakable. Alex. All
right, well, let's get more on that. Emily Wilkins of Bloomberg joins us now. Hey, Emily, what's going to be the Republican or President Trump's defense, I should say?
So President Trump's defense is going to basically say that, number one, that the president's speech that he gave on January 6th prior to the mob storming the Capitol is freedom of speech and that he cannot be punished for the things he said at this politically inclined rally. And they're also going to go ahead and make the argument that the Democrats' process on this has been particularly rushed and particularly partisan. I mean, remember, if you consider what the Democrats did the last time they did impeachment for Trump, this time was much faster, much quicker, sort of fewer hearings, fewer sort of going through of the facts. But then again, of course, you can argue that that wasn't necessarily needed as lawmakers were in the building when this occurred.
Emily, we had a trial balloon in terms of the vote that was done a few days back. I think only 5 Republicans voted in a way that would suggest that they would be willing to vote to impeach the former president. If the Democrats don't have the votes, and I think they need 17, what's the objective here? It's interesting that this headline mentions the fact that maybe they're trying to seek a way to bar Trump from further office.
That's definitely one possibility. I mean, in addition to this trial, whether or not to convict Trump, they could do a separate vote on whether or not to let Trump run for office again. They could also do a separate vote on whether or not to censure Trump, which is kind of like a bit of a lesser punishment, a bit of a slap on the wrist. But look, I mean, if you went a year back in time to Trump's first impeachment trial and you asked people around, hey, do you think that 17 Republicans or enough Republicans at that point are going to come out to convict Trump, you would not find a lot of people who would say yes. But Democrats are still going through with this. They still have a case to make. They've gotten the articles of impeachment. I think a lot of them see it as their duty to hold this trial, to present the evidence. And remember, last time only one Republican joined on with Democrats in convicting Trump. This time it looks like they might have the potential to get few more Republicans joining on them and sort of making a statement about that type of bipartisanship.